So it's been a few weeks since I last posted another video. The holidays were a little bit crazy. So I had to take a break. But you know what? It's really good to take a break every once in a while anyway. So I'm back and I am very excited because I get to start this year off with a new dance. Actually, it's new to you guys, but it is not new to me. This dance has a long history, and the story behind it is quite fascinating to me. The journey that Father has taken my husband and I on since I actually initially choreographed this dance is a long and extensive one, and pretty interesting. So I'm going to explain that to you right now. When I first got started in becoming a leader and actually coming up to my calling as a leader in dance for worship, Father started telling me that the men were going to begin to join us for the dance. At the time, there were only women dancing. You might occasionally have one guy get up and dance with us. And I know that it's different at other congregations, but from what I have heard from many others is that it's pretty rare for the men to really get passionate about the dance like the women. And that was the impression Father was giving me, that the men were going to step up and they were going to really get into the dance and see it as a vital part of worship. Now, this was somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 years ago. So we were in Tacoma when he gave me this word. When he told me this, he started inspiring me with warrior type dances. And I mean, I was getting chills while I started choreographing dances specifically for the men. It was really exciting for me, but also really scary. So when I choreographed this dance for Song of Ezekiel, I was too afraid to show it to the men. So I showed it to our leadership, and that was the rabbi's wife and our dance leader at the time. They were the only ones who saw it, aside from my husband, that is. But the awesomest part was when I finished, the rabbi's wife, I don't know, she just, the spirit filled her and she grabbed both of our hands and lifted us up. Now she's this tiny little thing, and I was literally shocked at how much strength she suddenly had. She's like, seriously, she's like this really frail looking, skinny, short lady. So she grabbed us and she lifted us up and she was just praying in the spirit and with power and authority. I was so overcome with chills and I was just like, whoa, this is powerful. And she said, Father, in the name of Yeshua, we ask you to raise up an army of worshipers. And I was just like, yes. My spirit was like, yes. And our dance leader also was very like, this is awesome. She was super excited. However, it didn't happen the way we expected it to happen. It was very frustrating. Honestly, we had a couple of guys join us. Travis was one of them. And it started off great, and then they just fizzled out over time. It was extremely frustrating. I never did get to publish this dance. I just never did get a chance to teach it to the guys. Because like I said, over time they fizzled out. And I don't know if they got discouraged or they just weren't feeling it, or I don't know what happened. But they fizzled out and it ended up being just the ladies again. So it was extremely frustrating. And I was just like, did I hear you wrong? I don't understand this. I am definitely one who believes that when the men join together with the women in dance to worship our Father, it is incredibly powerful. It breaks strongholds like you never would believe. It is just an amazing way to worship our Father. It's been really sad to me that in this country, it has basically been communicated to the men that and women too, I suppose, that dance is not meant for men, that it is only a feminine thing, because we have so feminized and sexualized dance. And that is a travesty. So this dance is meant to blow all of that completely out of the water. When I received this word from the Lord that the men were going to join in the dance, like I said, we were up in Tacoma. And then a whole lot of things changed. Our lives flipped upside down. We found ourselves on the road, moving out of Tacoma and heading towards Oklahoma, where our father told us our next mission was. And I thought he was crazy. I said to the Lord, you are playing with me here. You know, if I heard you right, there's no way those rednecks down there are going to want to dance. So, I learned my lesson. I have been humbled because there are a lot of men who are dancing. When we first showed up to this congregation, there was a little bit of a dance going on, but not so much. It wasn't really organized. It was pretty small whenever there was dance. Really not a whole lot. Definitely no classes that were available. But we had been there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and the pastor asked me, he just came right up to me and asked me if I could teach Hebraic dance and the things that I knew. And that's a whole nother story I won't get into because I don't have time, but I was seriously shocked because it just, there were so many things that kept confirming to me that we were in the right place. Right around the same time, all of this stuff is going on with the dance and the pastor asking me if I could teach. He gave this very powerful sermon on worship, specifically on dance, and that he believed the men needed to get up and they needed to worship Adonai and fulfill their calling as powerful worshipers. I mean, I was literally sitting in my chair in shock that this was coming out, and I was like, I am at the right place. This is exactly where Father wants me. And I just knew right in that moment, it's time. This is it. It's happening. And ever since then, the men have, it's been mainly the focus on the men. Like, definitely the women are dancing. We have some dances for the women too, and they've all been very into it. But you know what? My husband has stepped up and has joined me in teaching. And that is a miracle to me. And not only that, but it has been incredibly effective in drawing the men in and showing them what a masculine man looks like when he dances. It's just so much easier for the guys to see another man dance and to be able to do it with them, so that they're not looking at a woman and then they got to figure out how to make it look masculine. Especially since most men are just not, they're not like advanced in dance that much. So they only know how to do what they see. The other thing is that something I wasn't expecting is having my husband there with me to teach has been amazing, phenomenal. There are only so many ways I know how to communicate. And some people might find this as a surprise, but while one person may be really good and flawless at dancing, it takes a completely different side of your brain to break it down in a way so that you can communicate to people and teach them how to do dance in the same way. I didn't figure that out until I started stepping up as a leader and was like, oh my gosh, this is really hard. It is totally a different experience from just dancing to being a leader and teaching people how to dance. Totally different experience. And it's not for everyone. But having Travis there, who is an incredible communicator and knows how to break it down for people, break anything down, really, he's very gifted in teaching, has been such a huge weight off of my shoulder and has really been, I appreciate dance more because of him. I appreciate him even more. I respect him even more. I mean, I respected him a lot prior, but I respect him even more now. And it's just a dream come true to be working together with him in worship. And it is no coincidence that Father has inspired us to create this ministry in Messiah's Worship Warriors of the World, while at the same time we are coming out with warrior dances for the men. We have some new steps in here, one of which I am calling koach, which means power. There are many stomps in this dance. There are the beating of the chest, beating on the legs, some, mighty, strong, deep, I hope that's what I was going for, deep grunts and yelling, because this is war. We have an enemy. And he's not one to be trifled with. You can't just ignore your enemy. He is out for blood. The word says that our adversary goes around looking for whom he can devour. It also says that he goes around looking for what he can steal, kill, and destroy. We have an adversary. We have an enemy. And he wants to hurt us. We're not talking about physically necessarily. We're talking spiritually. We're not just physical beings. We are spiritual beings. And it's high time that the congregation of God rises up as warriors that they're meant to be and fights this battle. Because we are in a battle. Whether you're asleep in that battle or not, this is a battle. Please don't be asleep. Wake up. Wake up. It's time to get busy and fight. We need you. We need the entire body. So this is what this dance is meant to do, to fight the devil. With the stomps and beating of the chest and yelling, and the men coming out as men, as masculine men, to fight the devil. It's powerful, but this truly is a warrior dance, and I cannot wait to see all the guys in our congregation lift this up to our Father in praise and worship. It's going to destroy demonic spirits. So that being said, here you go, guys. Tell me what you think. I really hope you like it. I cannot wait to teach it to our guys at the congregation. I cannot wait to see it on Sukkot. It's going to be phenomenal. Here you go. I hope you like it.
Son of man, can these dry bones live?
Hear the voice of Ezekiel prophesying to these dry bones. Live again, live again. Those who are sleeping, those in the grave, live again, live again. Those who are sleeping, those in the grave, live again. army from the dust of the earth. Raise up an army, raise up an army, raise up an army of worship.